which is like, and they found like that 1,000 bottles of baby oil or whatever they did, and all sorts of
1,000 bottles.
yes. Hi, welcome to Not Another Couples Podcast.
Bonjour.
This is episode 30. We're now very grown up. We're 30.
Yes.
Well done.
I'm trying to think what I was doing when I was 30. We'd met. You hadn't had kids yet, had you?
I hadn't had kids, no, because I got married when I was 30. When you were 30, I took you to Morocco for your birthday.
Yes.
Surfing.
Oh, yeah.
You're lucky.
Where do we stay? Paradis Plage? No.
No.
Oh, Essaouira.
Area. I can never say that.
Nice.
Do
love Morocco.
So this week, what was happening? I've been a bit obsessed with this whole P. Diddy thing.
Have you?
P. Diddy.
When you say obsessed?
Well, I'm not really enjoying, but just hearing a lot about it from different people. And it's not great, is it?
The question is, how many people get away with shit?
Well, exactly. He's high profile. So P. Diddy, other names? Do you know his other names?
Paul Coombs or whatever it is.
Sean
Coombs.
Sean
That was close.
Coombs.
But he's been booking into a hotel under Philip something.
Yeah, but all celebrities do that.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they all have like weird names.
What would your name be? I'd be Cram Streebor, which is very clever.
They'd really work out quite
No, they won't.
I think they would.
You can't. What was yours? What would you be?
What would I be? I don't know.
Seymour Bush?
Yes, Dr. Seymour Bush. Yes, I did do that, didn't I? For book club. Yeah. Anyway, So P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Coombs, whatever he's called.
The big person in the dock at the moment is his PA.
Yes,
his assistant.
So there are so I understand it. I've got lots of info. 4 victims who have come forward to testify.
Yes.
One is this assistant who's not using her real name, but she's not actually. So she's doing it anonymously, but obviously sort of.
But she's in court, isn't she? Yes.
No, and then his girlfriend at the time of 10 years, she's another victim.
So this can't
She's the one who's being faced and named.
And is this being televised?
It's being all because all the stuff I've seen online has all been
hand drawn.
I'm just
but that's what they normally do. You're not allowed to televise these cases, so you'll see most of these court cases. They still have an artist, in-house artist doing this amazing. Yeah, but thank God I'm not doing it.
Thank God. But there was it started in November 2023 when she the assistant, I think it was the assistant. I may get this all wrong. This is all allegedly. Someone put in a case against him, obviously, initially, or filed a accusation. That's how it all started. And then they did that massive raid on his house. It's Homeland Security did it. I mean, it's literally full on 24. What was that other one we used to watch? It was about Homeland Security.
Debbie Does Dallas?
No. Don't bring that into this. It's totally wrong.
Sorry.
So Homeland Security, which is like, and they found like that 1,000 bottles of baby oil or whatever they did, and all sorts of.
Seriously?
1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Did he love massage?
But this is the problem. He's like
1,000 bottles.
Yes, that's what they claimed. They found allegedly. I'm putting all this allegedly. This is what
everyone
I've read
knows out there. It's a known fact as you become a mature adult that you can use too much baby oil. You can use too much. So why does he need 1,000 bottles?
Because it's not just for him, is it? He's hosting these massive, they're called freakouts.
I wouldn't want to be the cleaner the next day, getting baby oil off the couch.
So there's loads of stuff, obviously, written in about how, abusive he's been to, like, everybody in his sort of entourage, if you like. Because he likes to be called, like, the king. He's, like, top dog. He's gone from nothing to having an enormous wealth and influence and obviously setting up a record company, and it's just completely gone to his head.
Power.
Yeah.
But the other person, have you seen who's in the papers as well with exactly the same thing, is Al Fayed, the Harrods boss, who I trained one of his PAs years and years ago, who said he was a dirty bastard. And I don't have to say allegedly because he is dirty bastard. And you just avoided him like the plague. But this comes about, remember we've talked about this, when I did that gig in Ibiza training someone, you've got sugar daddies and then you've got the young girls who want to be with us. So the young girls are paranoid that a new, so let's get this right, the sugar daddies are paranoid that there's going to be another sugar daddy nicking their young girls. The young girls are paranoid that there's going to be another
young but legal age.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's all to do with power. And then that other thing we were reading, that article about the guy who basically fakes people's Instagrams. He hires big cars, helicopters to make the men look more powerful.
Yeah, so they can attract dateable, and they can attract higher level women.
But who's more stupid? The bloke doing it or the woman falling for it?
Equal. Well, I think the bloke doing it is abusing his power.
Well, he hasn't got any power. He's faking it.
No, but they're faking it. But the people who have wealth assume that they have power, and some women are ridiculously attracted to that. That's all that. That's what they're. But it's like, why are some people like fanatical? Why are some people so obsessed with certain celebrities and fanatical? They're just. It's an obsessive thing. It's like a psychological thing. I know we're getting a bit deep here, but it is. But some girls are just completely obsessed by wealth.
So if Brad Pitt came up to you,
wiggly
wanging, naked, you would have a go.
No, I wouldn't, because he smokes. He's been alleged.
Does he smoke?
No, I like looking at him.
Oh,
I like looking at him.
So you just get him to dance for you?
Yeah, I just like looking
Jamie
at him.
Lee Curtis.
I just want to look at you.
Just dance.
Don't have to do anything. I just like looking at him. But he, there's things about Brad Pitt I don't.
So I kind of get that when someone is, but when you're talking about,
I'm not obsessive about him. I don't like stand outside his house.
No, I know, but I kind of get the kind of One Direction and all of that, where they're good-looking young lads or pop stars, female, whatever, and people idolise them because it's not just the physical; it's everything else that they portray. But Al Fayed, you're like, what? It's just power.
Why has Elon Musk had like 5 wives?
That's a good-looking person. He was on your list. He was on your list. You're naming all your boyfriends.
No, why has Trump had all this? Because it's power. Yes. Some people are attracted to that power.
Is that what first attracted you to Mark Roberts?
No. But that's what I mean. It's like just some women and men are attracted to power, but there tends to be, I would say, the majority is the male. I think it's massive insecurities in the bloke's part.
Yes. But you'd like to think that we brought up relatively rounded, healthy young children, and the thought that some powerful man came up to Amber, flashing the cash or whatever it is appeals to her, she would have the common sense and the moral high ground to go, this bloke's a cock.
Yeah, I think at their age, obviously, they're attracted to success and.
Well, we've had the big Andrew Tate argument.
Well, success and wealth and all that sort of stuff does come into it, and there's a very fine line of being attracted to someone because they're successful and they're driven and they're going places, to being only attracted to that person because of that one thing, that they've got loads of money or they've got 50,000 million viewers on Instagram. You know what I mean? Is that all? You know what I mean? So it's like. Did
you see that Ben Fogle put an article out and he was saying that we've, the male, not the male model. What's the word I'm looking for? That everyone who's like people looking at Andrew Tate and so on and kind of aspiring. Ben Fogle's got it. I would say he's my Brad Pitt, Ben Fogle. Because he just seems like a very nice human being. And
but he likes doing all sorts of weird shit that you like doing, like living in the middle of nowhere in a tent.
So, he was bringing up various examples of people that young boys should aspire to be like, rather than some...
Yeah, but the problem is, I think boys generally, and I'm generalising stereotypically here, have always been swayed by, flashy cars or money or success in sport or business or stuff.
Success.
So people are.
It's the way you judge success, whether it's financial or whether it's actually being at the top of your game for whatever it might be.
Yeah, but these guys that we read about, this article in the Sunday Times, I can't remember the name of the guy who's running this agency. These guys who
they just 10 grand.
They basically pay into this agency. He sets them up with photo shoots with flashy cars, designer clothes, all that sort of stuff, to make them appear. They probably have the wealth to possibly have some of this stuff, not at that level,
not full time yet.
But so they're not. They're basically, he's basically, setting them up with a whole new profile
to attract
and life, which is complete fake. He's enhancing their reality.
So
basically.
One of them, wasn't it? He realised he was having a photo shoot in some supercar. And got very upset, this guy who's paid, because he'd realised that the hand that was outside the supercar was not the hand that had the Rolex on.
I would have flipping given a punch to the head.
Didn't have his swatch on. His Timex.
I mean, but this is the thing. Certain people will be looking for that. There are, we've heard conversations through our teenagers' friends a while ago when they're a bit younger, Amber's group of friends, where one girl was like, oh yeah, but he's like really rich and he's this and he's that. And
right, here's a question.
But they're much younger. They're about 15, 16, where they're much more impressionable, which is the really scary thing.
You are. You're 25, right? You're walking the streets. You are.
Thanks.
You're walking the streets.
Walking the streets. That doesn't sound good.
You're a night walker.
Am I a prostitute? Yes. I'm a night walker.
So there's a guy who you would give a 9 out of 10 for looks. You haven't spoken to him yet. 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. But you can tell that he doesn't have much money. But then suddenly there's a 6 out of 10 who you can tell he has wealth. Which one would you go for?
Yeah, but see,
no. Oh, you're a money grabber.
No. No. What I was going to say, unfortunately, I still have my 53-year-old brain is kicking in. I can't remember at 25. Yeah, I met you when I was 25. That's it. Life over.
And you used to walk the streets then.
Yes, of course I did. Life over. That's it. Done.
No knickers
Can't
on.
look at anyone else ever again.
See? Thank you.
I would say, for me, previous things of going out with people who are just good looking, there's not a lot else going on.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about just the good looks. I was talking about the wealth. Would wealth attract you? If he had a house, if there's one person who still lives with his mum and dad, 2 twins, but you hadn't met them together.
2 twins.
Sorry, twins. One lives with his mum and dad at the age of 30, and has a sales job that doesn't really excite him or whatever, and the other one has his own house and his own business. And you met them. Oh, no, it can't be twins because that's too much comparison. They both 8 out of 10s.
It's too confusing. I know
you would definitely go for the person who's got more drive.
Exactly. But that's about someone being successful and being driven and doing something with life. It doesn't mean the other guy won't. It just means he's just a bit behind the thing, or he's not that inspiring to be around. And I think there is this thing, isn't there, of saying surround yourself with people who lift you up rather than
drop you down. Oxygen thieves. Don't hang out with oxygen thieves. Well, yeah,
not even, I know that's your thing, but not even that, but just people who just don't lift you up. So it doesn't necessarily give you
weightlifters. Exactly.
Very strong people need to be around very strong people at all times to lift you up.
Sorry, I'm interjecting.
Wasn't
that they say that in court? Inject. No, what do they say? And then and then the judge goes, interjection. No. Oh, I can't remember. Sorry.
I know what you mean.
P. Diddy
is going through it all. But I'm just fascinated. It is quite fascinating, the timeline and the fact that in May, not fascinating about him.
No, I'm more fascinated with the baby oil.
Just the court thing is so long-winded. It's in its
2023.
It's in its 4th week now, the actual case, in the trial, in court.
You've done...
Yeah, I did jury service. I did like 4 days.
Yeah, I think we both got lucky. I was
traumatised completely, and it was a very minor offence.
Mine was a fake rape, remember?
Well, yours wasn't.
Well, she was faking it.
I know, but it's still quite a bigger thing. Mine was just some bloke nicking a photo, or it was something really small.
Yeah.
In comparison to some of the cases that they do. But I just found it, because I just felt so responsible, and I just felt so responsible for this person's life. Future. It could completely change their life. Whether you hear these cases where someone's been imprisoned for like 25 years, and then they suddenly realise that they were not guilty.
Well, one of the jurors on mine just wanted to make a decision because she wanted to go out for a fag.
Exactly. So with this one, for the jury, interested with PD's one, they sent out, I think they sent out like a form to 150 selected people.
Yeah.
And obviously, because it's quite graphic, a lot of the trial stuff.
Yeah.
Weird sex and, rape and horrible stuff that's being alleged. So he's got cases of, him drugging and raping and forcing people to, horrible stuff that people might be completely traumatized by, or extremely judgmental by if they're very prude.
Right.
They don't want to talk about, they don't want to discuss anything like that. They won't be able to do it. It's not like they can't. So they said that as formed 150 people, and then they've narrowed it down to however many they needed, and then they all had to be interviewed by the judge to make sure that, because it is a celebrity based case, and also other celebrities' names are being pulled in.
Right.
Brad Pitt was named, but nothing to do with it. Just allegedly at a
party or something,
premiere of a film that he was in. Something happened. P. Diddy was abusive to his then girlfriend. So it's nothing to do with Brad Pitt, but his name is being brought in. Jay-Z's, there's lots of big names, obviously, all being brought in because he hosts these parties with lots of massive celebrities attending. Whether they were attending at their own, like Justin Bieber, there's been a lot of stuff around him because he was so young when all this stuff was going on.
That's the thing, when you're
young and influential and completely, and you think you have to go along because these guys are so massive, influential in the music industry. It's like, it's really scary stuff.
Especially having kids. So
we watched, was that film? Watched this Prisoners with Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal, what I realised is he put on that, what's it called? Twitch.
Like a tick.
Really clever.
Yeah.
Because I was like, and then you read, obviously, as you do, through every single film, he's clinically blind.
Well, he's clinically blind. He has a lazy eye, which he wears special corrective lenses for.
Right. But I thought he was.
But that doesn't give him.
I think he's a very underrated actor. I thought he was very good in that.
He was very good in that. It was a good film, but quite traumatic.
Oh my god!
Actually, I wasn't as traumatized.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought you were going to walk out and do your usual.
Yeah, I can't watch anything but
children. I couldn't sleep that
children
night.
being abused,
and I couldn't sleep for ages that night.
I think
you were fine. Maybe you're a psycho.
Yes,
I think that's it.
Yes.
Have you got people in the basement? We used to think Flynn used to tell friends he had snakes in there.
I kept Brad down there for a bit. Yeah.
He's short, so he fits down.
I've let him.
How tall is Brad Pitt?
I don't actually know.
5'9"?
I think he's a bit taller than that.
You want him to be, but he's actually only 5'3". He's an Oompa Loompa.
I don't actually need to do anything. I just like looking at him.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm more Charles Dance than Brad Pitt.
What, you like looking at Charles Dance?
I love Charles Dance. I did go for a role to play him in a film.
Was it not like
the Athenaeum
hopefully a younger version of Charles Dance?
Yeah, obviously, a baby.
Charles Dance's illegitimate child from another mother.
Strawberry blonde. Yeah, I do find this whole thing, the Alfide, obviously Russell Brand is going into court, isn't he, for allegedly whatever. You have to say allegedly because nothing's been proven yet.
Yes.
It's just very interesting. I just think, I don't know, I'm of the old school.
I just do think it's the whole
power thing. If they had friends
thing
around them, decent friends, at one point when they overstep the mark, that friend punches them in the face. I was about to say,
the problem with celebrity stuff like this, and other peer groups, I suppose, but especially in television, people are wanting to climb the ranks, wanting to climb the ladder, then people are at the top of their game or appear to be top of the game within the television media world. People around them treat them differently.
Yeah,
and they bow to their every whim, so they keep quiet.
Even if you produce 1,000 bottles of baby oil,
they keep quiet but they're all involved. They're all in it. They think it's great. They're in it. They may not think it's great, but you know what I mean. They're in it, and they sort of turn a blind eye to all that stuff.
Just slip over a lot. I mean, you could tell whoever has been involved with P. Diddy, they're going to have lovely skin, very soft, smooth skin, and smell of baby oil. That would, if I was the judge, I'd just go around sniffing people.
I think this is a while ago, so and may or may not have washed since then. People, you see, some people wash and have a shower.
So,
like you.
As would we class her as a super fan, Katie, because she's listened to podcasts now?
She's listened to about 4 episodes, yeah.
But she didn't wash her hands after touching Dermot O'Leary, did she?
She did eventually.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes, she has washed them because that was only about 15 years ago.
Oh, was it? Okay, okay. Maybe she has.
About 15 years ago.
Might wear a little satin glove.
Although I did buy her, Dermot O'Leary did have some products in M&S, I believe. Shower, like bath products, Dermot O'Leary range, something.
No,
so I bought them for her so she could smell what he smells like. Probably never used them in his life. But she was very pleased with that purchase and gift.
Good.
So what else we went to? We went to, at the weekend...
Oh, yes.
A breath workshop. Breath and meditation.
It was a beautiful setting in Reigate, Buckland Lakes.
Is it Buckland?
Yeah, I think it's Buckland Lakes. Beautiful woodland under this kind of not teepee, but under this cover, looking at the trees.
Yeah.
Your favourite tree, the Fagus Beach.
So we were walking from the car park. We had to walk up from the main car park to this little woodland cove.
And there were a few signs with the different trees.
And you were giving me all the Latin names for all the trees.
Well, it was written there, and you missed the Fagus, the beach, because that's the one.
Why did you have to look at the boards though? Surely you knew them all.
I did. Well, I know I've forgotten what hazel was. Corylus.
Hazel O'Connor.
Hazel tree. Yeah. Broken glass.
Yes, and then we sat under this big cover.
It was very nice. So he was a very interesting guy. Ex-Nepalese monk turned into an SAS soldier. Done a huge amount of Gurkha, huge amount of altitude climbing, Everest, takes disabled peoples up Mont Blanc and 4,000, 5,000 meter peaks. Very interesting, amazing guy, really. And it was very interesting. I never really tried meditation. And the one thing I learned was whenever I try to meditate, I can't. My mind's just all over the place. But he said, use sound. So I was listening to the bird sound. And that, as he said, because sound is present. It's now.
Exactly. So it's just...
Read your mug.
So it's allowing...
Read your mug.
Wait a second.
No.
It allows...
It's relative.
Shut up. So when you do the meditation, you hearing the noises, exactly. We always used to think you had to completely shut out any noise, not be distracted for a second. But now we've learnt, obviously, I'm doing my meditation hand.
Well done.
Look, you do like an OK with 3 fingers. To just embrace whether it's the noise of a fridge or your outside car driving past or humming or birds or whatever it is.
Like those sound.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such
the
a
little
nice
sound balls. We need to go to a gong bar.
Read out your thing.
Hunter does gong bars. We need to go to one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is mystery. Today is a gift.
Thank you. Oh, I thought it was something about presents. Anyway. So it was very interesting. And we had to squeeze our anus a lot.
Yeah, smart like that bit. So when you had to breathe in, lift your chin, lift and extend your back.
Your spine.
And then as you breathe out, squeeze your anus at the end.
Or, as he said,
anus.
Anus.
Your anus.
And I was like, is he saying anus?
It was very good.
Well, I did very well. You got the giggles and I didn't. You were tapping me. You were being like
I was a bit bored.
Yeah, you were being a little kid in the back. I was like...
Well, the thing was...
I couldn't do the moaning bit.
I get very frustrated when people can't explain stuff. And he's obviously he's done all this amazing stuff. He's teaching, obviously, a language. Obviously, it's not his first language, speaking to us.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult.
I think it didn't help we were at the back.
Well, he also started quite quiet, but he started a sentence and then stopped. And then he didn't complete the sentence. And that was giving me a bit
with your OCD.
Twitchy.
But it was lovely. It was lovely. It was very interesting.
I was trying to just not take in what he says and just do what I thought he was saying. The actual breathing and his little chimes and gong, it was all lovely. You're in the middle of the woods and it's all very chill and sort of quite organic.
Who was I talking to that can't squeeze their anus? I often have these conversations. Who was it? Was it Amber? Yes. Do you remember she said she couldn't do it without squeezing her glutes? It's quite common that. So it's that lower pelvic floor.
Oh.
So when they squeeze it, they just squeeze her.
Chuffed. You've just said that on the podcast.
Let's say it wasn't Amber. Let's say it was Rebma.
Someone else we know.
Yeah.
A friend. So you, a couple of weeks ago on our podcast, we were talking about Crystal Palace. What? Crystal Palace, your viral
they're developing
clip.
It. Oh, sorry.
No.
Oh.
Your viral clip. So Mark talked about a client of his who did a bet and it went 12-1.
Apparently I was talking bollocks.
Well, this just kicked
not
off.
Rare.
On TikTok, everything just kicked off. The best quote is this bloke is talking rubbish. This bloke's got type 4 diabetes.
Oh, that's good.
Like that.
Yeah.
Type 4, I don't know why type 4, but anyway, type 4 diabetes. There was another guy bragging that I own a betting company because I know it's talking bullshit. You know, what was that?
Did you read them? I don't know.
I just scrolled through them. It was very funny.
What was that? What do people actually have the energy or time to write on? What are they writing it on?
TikTok.
Oh.
So it's obviously certain people follow certain things, anything to do with football or whether it was to do with Crystal Palace, whatever the engagement hook was, they loved it and hated it in equal measure.
Very good.
But they loved
Crystal Palace. Talking about Crystal Palace, it looks like they've had the go ahead to develop it into a brand new stadium for athletics. They're redeveloping the whole of the athletics stadium.
Is this fact?
No, this will be RB type 4 liability.
Type 4 diabetes.
That is brilliant.
You've got type 4 diabetes.
Yeah.
mate. All right. And the other one they were calling him was Jay from In Betweeners.
Why? Because I just lie.
Just making stuff up. Yeah. He's making it up.
Tell
He's talking. Literally, there were so many people just going, liar. Why is he lying? It's not lying. It's hearsay. It's what he was told
that was a good
by someone.
Hearsay.
And we're just explaining it. It's allegedly. It's allegedly. All right, people.
I'm going to put another one out there.
Get back in your boxes.
When you're over the now, this is from our favourite S&C coach with a lovely moustache, Chucky. Mm-hmm. He put something up which I thought was very funny. Apparently, when you're over 30, this is some fact he read, only 5% of people still sprint, ever sprint again, ever in their life. And as he said, whether this fact is bollocks or not, you might as well be the 5% and try and sprint. But does that make any sense at all? Not really.
Yes.
Okay.
It does to me. I'm not sure it will to anyone listening at home.
Well, it's interesting. When you get over the age,
I know both of you.
Over the age of 30, people stop sprinting.
Yes,
and sprinting is such a brilliant exercise to do. Obviously, you've got to build into it. This is my Mark's facts.
Why do they stop then?
Normally, they don't have the strength to do it. They're fearful of pulling a muscle, so they haven't built the foundations to be able to build the speed of their running. Sprinting is brilliant in terms of force, bone density, sense of freedom. You've got to be in this really nice range of motion to be able to sprint. It's a brilliant thing to do, but people just stop doing it. And the problem is this is what I was saying to you, because I've slightly fallen out of love with athletics, going to the competitions and all that. I'm up for doing the old farts ones, the big ones, and focusing on that, but doing the other ones where I go there, do one throw, rush off something else. I'm like, what? And the thing is, anyway, and I suddenly said, oh, maybe I'll look into something else. But I know that if I stop sprinting, it's very unlikely that I will keep doing it.
Well, you've also found it hard just through injury. Whether you had your knee, you've had
hernia. The weight of good looks.
And yes, the pressure of being so good looking, incredibly good looking.
I'm extremely good looking. I should put my mouth guard in.
We'll do that next week. I just think you found it harder going back. Just you feel like you've lost speed.
I have lost speed.
I know, I was being kind then.
My vertical jumps dropped. That's the one big thing. If we don't use it, you lose it. As we age, you can keep endurance, you can keep muscular strength, but power, if you do not test it and use it, you lose it dramatically. So my vertical jump, sorry to be nerdy, has dropped by kind of almost 10-15%. It's slowly coming back up again, but it's taken so much work.
Breathe.
I get nervous.
Don't just breathe. It's normally saying that to me.
I was breathing through my anus horribilis.
And the other thing he said on that, just flicking back to that again, the breathing thing, was can you...
Oh, yes.
So try this at home, people, now.
Okay, here we go.
Breathe in through your nose and then breathe out through your mouth, nice and slowly. Can you tell which nostril is dominant when you're breathing in?
Mine's changed.
Do you have one or other nostrils when you're breathing in? Close your eyes so you can really...
I've got big holes.
You've got a lot of big holes, generally.
So it was right on the day of the thing. Now it's left.
But mine, I think, when I was doing it, I started with my left and then it switched to my right. So then my first part of my breath, the lower abdominal, I think, was my left nostril, and then it went to my right nostril. Fascinating stuff here, people. Fascinating. So I've just heard some footsteps above us, so that just to let everybody know that Amber is back from uni.
That's quite early
so my Susie's shout out goes to any parents who have children's back from uni this week or ongoing, because
can we mention CJ?
Hold on, because they bring a lot of shit back.
That's Suzie language.
A lot of stuff comes back. I don't know how it even got there, but it's come back, all of it, because they have to clear out this is first year, so they have to clear out their hall.
It's the main reason why we bought the van again.
And now we have the van again. Luckily, it was mainly full. We did about 4 dolly trolleys full up and down steps of stuff, but also the washing. So the shout out goes to your washing machines, because there is a lot of washing. So whoever
Big up Zanussi. Does they still make them?
Zanussi?
Yeah, do you remember Zanussi?
Jesus Christ!
Oh,
what was that other? What was the shop you used to get all your electricals from?
Comet.
Was it Comet? No, there was something before even that, back in the 80s. So washing machines will be overloaded. A friend of ours has 4 children, just showing off, but her 2 middle ones, the older ones, finish unis back home. working, and then the other 2 middle ones have been at uni, and they both have just returned back with all their stuff. First world problems. She can't get in a utility room because it's full of stuff. And the younger one, whose boy, came back with his little car, just full. Everything was in a black sack. No bags, no like actual travel cases, proper suitcases, boy. Just black plastic bin liners packed. It looked like it was going to the dump. The dump. So Mark Spitz is just your jumping. So you want people to jump. I want people to
jump, but don't. It's a bit like you have to get fit to run. Up. You don't run to get fit. When people go, "Oh, I'm going to start running," you're like, "Okay, have you? As a ghost, have you done any?" And so yes, you do have to build it up very slowly, but it's so beneficial. Coordination, strength, power, freedom.
And the only last thing on uni returners is they probably will. I'm just putting it out there. Need a decompression week or so.
You do.
We all do, because it's quite a big transition. They've lived their own life for a while, and then they come back and they have a different time zone to everybody else in this house.
That's very true.
And their food and where they leave their stuff and how it all works is very different when they move back home. So my Suzie chat also goes out to parents and the students. Just allow for a little bit of decompression because they're here until September. So we've got it all just blend in again.
July, August, 3 months, 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So good luck, everybody. Have a good one.
Yes, please carry on with yourselves.
Please listen to us and like us and love us.
Why do you do that face?
I don't know. It's just the weird way I talk. Doing a weird mouth. Oh, Siggy's back. Siggy's back in the room. Thank you for listening, and we'll hopefully see you and speak to you next week.
Merci beaucoup. Au revoir. Et gros bisous.
Au revoir.